ask you, what do you know firsthand or personally that's worth $1 million and looks like $1 million? What would your first answer be? Because when that smoke clears and they hit that beat to 2001, pal, I'm gonna bust in that ring. Woo! Looking as only I can look.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 million man. There's nothing. There's nobody that I can't buy. There's three things you never do. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spin in the wind. And you don't write checks that you can't back up. And when you climb in the ring with the $1 million man, I stand real tall when I'm standing on my wallet. And when you climb in the ring with me, you just can't back that up. So remember, you will be bought.
It's wild Tex. You and Ted DiBiase can sometimes be very much alike, but he's in crisis. DiBiase, in the rarest of rare acts, putting the $1 million championship on the block against Ric Flair.
And like yourself, Tex, he is looking after Jody after the cell match. He's covering her medical expenses, supervising her recovery and rehabilitation, and has sworn his loyalty to Jody Dvorak, swearing she'll be back better than ever. Whatever you may think of Ted DiBiase, he's standing up when it counts.
Yeah, Ted's not a bad sort. We get along okay. But Nature Boy Ric Flair picking this particular time with Ted DiBiase at his lowest ebb was Jody Dvorak injured. And that on his mind, now's the time Ric Flair picks to challenge him for that $1 million championship. That's just luck. That's why he's one of the dirtiest players in the game.
Nate is clearly playing mind games with Ted DiBiase. After all, the $1 million championship is purely ceremonial. It really has no true meaning beyond the fact that it's the exclusive property of Ted DiBiase, and he's insanely possessive of it. The fact that he's even accepted Flair's challenge is a clear indication that the $1 million man ain't thinking straight.
When you see the big picture here, Ric Flair is lower than a snake belly for picking now to mess with DiBiase in his surly state of mind. He's liable to beat the brakes off Flair, like you did to Easy Valak the other night at Southwest.
And it would probably look just as pretty, GB. Well, here he is. Like I said, we get along adequately, he and I, but the $1 million man, definitely not in his right state of mind if he's putting the $1 million championship at stake here against Ric Flair. He's trying to look tough. He's, that whole bravado trip that he does, but he's got that. If he really cares about Jody Dvorak, it's got to be on his mind that she is laid up and she's going to be gone for at least a month.
Exactly, the bravado thing. His ego won't let him believe he can't be beaten for the $1 million championship. Nature Boy knows it, and he's playing DiBiase like a well-tuned Stradivarius.
We've seen how rarely Ted DiBiase puts that title on the line, and we also see how rarely he loses it. I'm thinking the chances are pretty good he's going to retain that belt tonight. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's all about. Ted DiBiase's $1 million championship, gold encrusted in diamonds. It is a beautiful thing, not a bit gaudy.
Introducing first the challenger from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 236 pounds, the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
It's such a rare thing for Ted DiBiase to even put the $1 million belt up for grabs, but I guess that's really where the novelty of the thing comes in.
His opponent from Omaha, Nebraska, weighing 254 pounds, the $1 million champion, he is the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. He is gonna fight like a tiger with that belt on the block. No way is he just gonna hand it over to Ric Flair of all people. I'm rooting for Ted. Do it for Jody, brother.
Do it for Jody? You must be out of your mind, GB.
Referee Matty Sierra passing around the $1 million championship for hours and Ric Flair's perusal. You're not kidding, Tex. That sucker is gaudy.
He wants to take it to a pawn shop in Las Vegas just so he can hear $100 is the best I can do. All right, two legends with the $1 million title on the line. Matty Sierra rings the bell. DiBiase catches a knee to the gut from Ric Flair. The Nature Boy. Well, Ted DiBiase puts on the brakes, nails Flair, takes him down to the canvas. And look at this, right away into a figure four, mocking Ric Flair's signature move here. Nature Boy naturally knows the way out, turns it around, escapes the hold. Ted DiBiase rounded up. Ric Flair has him out on the apron, misses with the right. DiBiase counters with a right of his own, comes on back inside the ring, they lock it up. DiBiase whipped to the ropes again, Ric Flair collides with him, nothing happens. Ted DiBiase kick to the midsection and a DDT for Ric Flair. The Nature Boy on the receiving end of the bad business here. DiBiase misses with that driving knee, puts on the brakes, drives another knee into the midsection of Ric Flair. Here's a snapmare and a driving knee to the head. The Nature Boy takes it outside, so does Ted DiBiase. Rolling out there exactly the same time with him. Rolls him back inside the ring. Not ready to take it to the outside just yet, apparently. The $1 Million Man with that $1 Million title hanging in the balance. An elbow across the back of the Nature Boy. Double axe handle finds the mark. So does the kick to the midsection. They lock up. Ric Flair whipped to the ropes this time. DiBiase misses his grapple. Ric Flair nails him with a couple of chops. A slap and a chop block that takes DiBiase down just about center ring. The $1 Million Man shoves him away quickly back on his feet. Nature Boy Ric Flair rounded back up. Ted DiBiase bobbing and weaving nails him with a series of rights and a hard right hand that hurts his knuckles and takes down the Nature Boy. The $1 Million Man with a stomp to the face of Ric Flair. Ric Flair back up on his feet, locks up with Ted DiBiase. The $1 Million Man whipped to the ropes. Ric Flair nails him with a back body drop. Going for the cover here. One, but just one. Ted DiBiase still with far too much fuel in the tank. Ric Flair tags him with a hard right hand. Nature Boy moves right back in. Tags him with another right. Ted DiBiase gonna wear down after a couple of those. Oh man, the $1 Million Man all the way up for the long vertical suplex, and down he comes. Nature Boy regaining control of the matchup. Again, the $1 Million Championship on the line here. And Ted DiBiase, obviously in one of those nasty stages of grief, the Jody Varick injury. A stomp to the face from Ric Flair, and he just busted open the $1 Million Man. Driving knee right to the head of Ted DiBiase. Ric Flair rolls out of the ring for what purpose unknown. Comes back inside and gouging the face of the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase in trouble here. Counters, quickly gets back up on his feet, moves in on the Nature Boy, tags him with a couple of right hands, and a third one, a big one. A real beauty, took him down. Nature Boy counters with a jawjacker, nails him with a right. DiBiase counters with a kick. They lock up. Quick takedown from Ted DiBiase. Look at this. Into a cloverleaf. Working the legs of Ric Flair. Possibly going to tag him again with his own move, the figure four leg lock. Ted DiBiase not past doing anything when it comes to the $1 Million Championship. There he goes. Like I said, El Predicto strikes again. The figure four applied to the Nature Boy. But Nate, working his way around it, finds his way out of the hole. Ted DiBiase back up on his feet first. Nature Boy stopped cold by Ted DiBiase. Whip to the ropes. Up over, back body drop for Nature Boy, right center ring, right in the heart of the logo. Nature Boy counters, takes down Ted DiBiase, and now into a cloverleaf. These guys going at each other move for move here. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and everybody's going to wind up blind and toothless. Oh, man. The $1 Million Man in trouble at the hands of the Nature Boy. Challenging for the $1 Million Championship. Woo! there he goes. Nature Boy styling and profiling. Takes himself all the way up. Top turnbuckle. DiBiase motionless. Elbow drop right across the chest. Nature Boy gonna go for the cover right away. One. But only one. Ted DiBiase powering out of that one pretty easy. Everybody winds up outside the ring again. And this time it's probably not going to be pleasant. Nature Boy tags DiBiase with a hard right. These guys ain't playing around. Not a lot of fancy moves. Not a lot of flippy-do here. These guys are playing for real. Nature Boy pitched towards the barricades by the $1 Million Man. DiBiase taking his leisure inside the ring. Nature Boy gonna follow him on inside. Oh, an elbow, a shoulder. Takes down Ric Flair again. Oh, man, Nature Boy. No, he took that one pretty hard. Nate rolls the $1 Million Man back inside the ring. They lock it up again. Nate's whipped to the far corner. DiBiase charges but catches an elbow from Flair. Flair tags DiBiase with a knee breaker. Ric Flair also working the legs of his opponent, setting up for a figure 4 leg lock. And here we go, an abdominal stretch. Ric Flair applying a rare scientific move. The dirtiest player in the game, catching a hip toss from the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase going to take full advantage. Flair back up on his feet. Shoulder tackle takes down the $1 Million Man quickly. Wow. Ric Flair spins him around with the right into a sleeper hold. Well, this could be the end right here. Matty Sierra, the referee, checking the $1 Million Man. Oh, here we go. He counters. Nails Flair with a jawjacker. Back up on his feet. Locks up Ric Flair. Up over the shoulder in the fireman's carry. Hit first into the turnbuckle. Goes Nature Boy. Seated in the corner. Counters with a kick quickly. Back up on his feet. DiBiase putting the brakes on again. Ric Flair unable to mount any real offense. The $1 Million Man drops the fist on the Nature Boy. Every time Nate gets started, he gets shut down cold by the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase up on the top turnbuckle. Ric Flair back up on his feet. Here we go. Double axe handle. Finds the mark. Down he goes. Ric Flair gathered back up by the $1 Million Man. Another right that spins him around. In by the $1 Million Dream. Applied by the $1 Million Man. Ric Flair could be in trouble here. The referee keeping an eye on the Nature Boy. He's fading fast. Whoa! Quick counter from Ric Flair. Surprised he made it out of that one. DiBiase whipped to the ropes, catches a knee from Ric Flair. The Nature Boy stalking the $1 Million Man. Takes him down, and here it comes. Ric Flair been waiting for this moment the whole match. Into the figure 4 leg lock. Referee Matty Sierra checking the $1 Million Man, but the $1 Million Man finding his way around the hole, finds his way out, finds his way back to his feet, locks up Ric Flair immediately, whips Flair to the ropes, ducks under, and a clothesline. Takes down the Nature Boy. Flair back up on his feet again, locks up the $1 Million Man, has him up against the ropes. Up and over and out onto the floor goes the Nature Boy, the $1 Million Man in hot pursuit here as the referee begins the count. Ted DiBiase goes to work on Ric Flair on the outside, wearing him down while the referee continues to count. A $1 Million Championship on the line here, and Ted DiBiase knows it. Ric Flair rolls him back inside the ring, and Ric Flair's going to have to do something quick. But this match has been styling and profiling, and right now is not a good time. Ted DiBiase gives him the bum's rush back inside the ring. The $1 Million Man makes his way back inside. Whoa! A neck breaker out of nowhere from Ric Flair, followed up with a stomp. The Nature Boy moves in, nails the abdominal stretch on the $1 Million Man again, but I don't think that's going to get a submission. I really do doubt it. Ted DiBiase is being worn down here, a hip toss and he is out of the abdominal stretch. DiBiase going for a quick cover. 1, 2. But Ric Flair reaching out for the bottom rope. Referee says, nope, we're going to have to start this one all over again. A kick to the back of Ric Flair. A stomp to Ric Flair. The $1 Million Man frustrated here. Figured he might have had it right there, but Ric Flair, whoa, spinning neck breaker. And I mean, he spun him. Elbow across the chest of Ric Flair. Ted DiBiase figured he might have had that match won. Hard right to Ric Flair. A second, and down he goes out onto the floor. Here comes the $1 Million Man right after him. Ric Flair catches a knee to the head. Referee starts the count. Elbow to the midsection of Ric Flair. Flair rounded up again, the $1 Million Man. A series of strikes. And a fist drop right to the face of the Nature Boy, and he is busted open. They lock it up, kick to the mid. What a match we have had so far here between these two legends. Ric Flair sets him up. Whoa! Beautiful counter from Ted DiBiase. The $1 Million Man makes his way back inside the ring. Ric Flair seeing the stars and pretty birds. $1 Million Man begging off here as if Ric Flair was in any condition to do anything. That's just going to make the Nature Boy mad. Well, look at this. $1 Million Man takes him down into the figure 4 again. The $1 Million Man playing some mind games of his own, but the referee says he's got to break the hold. The $1 Million Man makes his way all the way up to the top rope here. And beautiful crossbody, but Ric Flair steps out of the way and a running kick takes the $1 Million Man down. Ric Flair spins him around with a right, goes behind into the waist lock. Russian leg sweep from the Nature Boy. Now Ric Flair stalking the $1 Million Man here. Takes him down, and here it comes. Woo! All right. The $1 Million Man in trouble here, Ric Flair. Locks in the figure 4 leg lock. No ropes to get to. Well, the $1 Million Man's in big trouble. He is tapping out. That is it. Ric Flair is the new $1 Million Championship, if you can believe it. Wow. Shut up.
You've got to be kidding. No way.
The time 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Your winner by submission and the new $1 Million Champion, Ric Flair.
Well, guys, we have said it before, and I will say it again. The landscape in the Legends division is changing rapidly. Nature Boy Ric Flair pulling off probably one of the best upsets we're going to see all night. He is the new $1 Million Champion for whatever that's worth. It belongs to him now, and Ted DiBiase, he's going to be having a pretty rough week.
Don't be surprised to see Ted DiBiase having a $1 million meltdown at some point now, between Jody Boric on his mind and now losing the $1 million title to Ric Flair. He's gonna be a hot mess for a while.
And I mean, we all know he's going to get the $1 Million Championship back at some point, but it's between now and then that's going to get colorful. All right, American Supreme Matt Clark, the World Heavyweight Champion, in action in our main event when we come back.